What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Neeks Sports. Yeah, it's been a bit of a minute since I think it's December since our last stream, which was the podcast after the Formula One. But I am back. I am here. As you know, I've been about. I ain't disappeared. I ain't been nowhere. Like just off the grid. I've been doing my bit. Generally obviously on the Football Terrace and over on Don Robbie's channel. I've been around. I ain't been hiding during Man United's downtown. But I saw it go over here. A lot of stuff going on. I can't always be everywhere at once. And unfortunately, I ain't been around on Neeks Sports as much. But the new year is here, 2022. This is the first stream. We got a podcast later this week. Should be doing that on Thursday, so make sure you tune into that. But today we are going to be talking about Manchester United solely, and we're talking about mainly Anthony Martial. Of course, there's other players in our squad. Other players in our squad that are going to be leaving, could be leaving, should be leaving, depending on what you think, who you support. Some people just support certain players. But Martial's the main one. Today, as we've been made aware, he is in Seville, pending, I guess, a medical signing of the last contracts or anything like that, to secure a loan deal for the rest of the season. And this will be a loan deal without an option to buy, without an obligation to buy, but they will be covering all his wages. Before we go any further, make sure you smash that like button and share the content and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. But yes, Anthony Martial, as you can see there, in Seville, landed a few hours ago, probably about 3 hours ago, landed in Seville, ready to join Seville. As the comments here, good evening. Good. I mean, it was a good evening when Sevilla was managed by Unai Emery. I don't know who their manager is now, but maybe they also say good evening. Who knows? And says Martial already looks like a weight has been lifted off his shoulders. Maybe. And whatever that might be, the reason for that, is it that, I just don't want to be at Manchester United, I hate it here? Or is it a case of, I can kind of just kickstart without the pressure, without the media, without the circus that currently surrounds Manchester United? Lopetegui is the manager there, as Tapiwa says. Thank you very much. So, yeah, I mean, let me know your thoughts on that deal, in terms of whether you think it's a good deal. Who is it a good deal for? Could be for everyone, could be for nobody. You might think it's a bad deal all around. Martial's obviously going there because he wants game time. It hasn't been easy for Martial, and you can't put it. I'm going to put it solely down on Martial, but I'm not also going to put it all down on the club. Martial's been given a lot of opportunities, especially under Solskjaer. Solskjaer put a lot of trust in him. Sold Lukaku. Well, actually, before he sold Lukaku, put Lukaku out on the right wing and put Martial through the middle. Sold Lukaku, gave Martial back his number 9, had him up front. Best season under Solskjaer, and then his worst season also came under Solskjaer. He got 20 goals the previous year and then got 4 goals last year. And it's like, we can't have those inconsistencies at Manchester United. You really can't. For what we say we're aiming for, 4 goals from your main striker is not good enough. And, something that's plagued him all throughout has been the inconsistencies. You have a good season and a bad season, or a good spell and a bad spell. For me, I like the deal. I would love if Martial wanted to stay and we could utilize him, but the reality is he's good enough to be starting somewhere in terms of talent, but he's not good enough to be starting for Manchester United right now in terms of his consistency. Not that any of our players have been not any, but most of our players have been overly consistent, but he's one of the most inconsistent. And it's probably one of the most frustrating because of how talented he is. We've got the World Cup later this year. He's going to want to be playing games, making sure his name isn't far from Didier Deschamps' mind when he's selecting that squad. Of course, it's at the end of 2022, but he wants to get a full year of football in and staying at Man United, especially now. He's not trusted to start. I mean, he came off the bench and made a big impact against West Ham. That doesn't necessarily mean he's starting the next game. So you make that move. He's on they're in a title race with Real Madrid. I don't know if he walks straight into the team. I don't know what the kind of setup of their team is over there, but he needs to go over there and prove himself. And I say that prove himself. He does need to prove himself. Some people, as where was the comment from Beanie Man, says you would think Martial was a United legend with all these eulogies on social media. Nani did not get this much love when he left, and Nani delivered major trophies. Yeah, the way people talk about it is like, how can you get rid of the greatest ever striker to play for Man United? That's the way that a lot of Man United fans are talking about him. Martial FC, they are. They support Anthony Martial over supporting Manchester United. He hasn't been that guy for us. He's had very good moments. We can talk about the debut. We can talk about the FA Cup semi-final. He's won trophies, including the Europa League. So, he's had good moments. Manchester Derby, but across his 7 years, we're talking, he joined 2015. Was that his first year? It was 2014. 14-15. I'm trying to remember now. Anthony Martial, 2014-15 was it 15-16? Let me just check that quickly. Was it Van Gaal's first season? No, it must have been his second season, because the first season we had like Falcao and Van Persie and all that. Yeah, so 15-16 was his first year. And so we're talking about 7, 16, 17, 18, 9. Yeah, 7 seasons we're talking about. And he's barely put in a run of 2 consecutive good seasons. So you have to be careful the way that you even talk about Martial, really. I think that we're not overstating what he has achieved and how important he is and what he's ultimately done for the club. But both him, and we'll get on to the others as well, but when it comes to him, he wanted a loan deal. He didn't want to commit his future, whether it be at Manchester United or elsewhere, until a new manager came in at Manchester United. So I think a loan deal gives him the game time. It gives him an opportunity to showcase his talents. It gives him an opportunity to regain his form and maybe put himself in not just in the mindset of the international manager, but Manchester United's next manager. I mean, that manager could be Ralph Rangnick, and at the end of the season, he might say, damn, we need Martial back. Or it could be someone else. It could be Ten Hag, Pochettino, Luis Enrique. A few managers have been spoken about that they say Man United are going to pursue once the transfer window is over. So between now and the end of the season. And Man United players don't want to say they want to play for Man United. They've come here for a reason. They probably feel that they've underachieved at Manchester United in terms of not leading us back to the glory, the winning a Premier League or Champions League and being ultimately competitive at the highest level season in, season out. So I think a lot of Man United players either love the club in terms of being born and bred as Mancunians, etc., or they feel they got something to prove and they came here for a reason and they don't want to give it up after, in some cases, 2 years, some cases even 7 years. So they're going to leave that door open for the new manager to make a judgment. If the new manager says, Martial, you can go, then regardless of what he does at Sevilla, he'll make that decision in the summer. But I guess he hopes, or maybe he wants to just wait and see and say, actually, I want to work under this manager. Let's see what this manager is going to say. Where is he going to play me? What role am I going to have? And make that decision later. So it's a loan deal with no option or obligation to buy. And they will be covering all his wages, which is about 7 million for half a season. I think he earns about 13 million for the year. Make sure you hit the like button if you haven't. Let me go through some of these comments. Sammy says, Anthony bang average Martial. He's so talented, but that's why it frustrates me so much, because he's so talented. And says, good deal for Martial. Finally gets to compete in a title race. What are you talking about? He was in 2 title races. 2017-18, when we finished 18 points behind Man City. And last season, when we finished, 15 points behind Man City. It's a good title race. I don't know what you're complaining about. Erhan, big up yourself, Erhan. Says United made Tony Marshall lose his hair. Manchester United makes a lot of people lose their hair. Unfortunately, I've kept mine. Got to get it done this weekend, actually. But a lot of people have lost their hair under that Glazer ownership. Tapua says, as a Liga fan, I am excited. Should be good for him. However, I don't think it'll be long term because they already have Youssef Nesiri and Rafa Mir in those striker roles. Well, yeah, it's just for the end of the season. Maybe just want some more strengthening to go that expeditions. Benzema got injured on the weekend. So I don't know how long he's out for. I don't know, there is no replacement in Real Madrid for Benfica. If Sevilla get an injury in that position, they're going to want a good replacement. Now, I'm not comparing Martial to Benzema, but I think he'll be useful for Sevilla in his title race. He's a good player. The guy is a very good player. I hope he turns it on. I hope he turns it on for Sevilla in the next 6 months. Let's see. Yeah, so they only pursue a long-term option if he turns out as well as Campos did. Should be a match made in heaven. On paper, dribbler and goal scorer with something to prove to help that Sevilla attack for the games they run out of ideas and require moments of brilliance. Yeah, I agree. 100% agree. It'd be interesting to see where he plays, where they utilize him, because we know that he sees himself as a striker. He's not a striker. He's not a striker. He's not a goal scorer. He's not a number 9. He's not a natural goal scorer. He's a good finisher, cool, calm in front of goal, but he doesn't have the natural movement of a number 9. I even say someone like Gabriel Jesus, who I've never rated as a number 9, and I still don't to this day. He has the natural movements of a number 9. He'll get into all the positions you need to be in, but he can't finish, not consistently. You add Gabriel Jesus' movement, instincts, and Martial's finishing, you got a great number 9. But Martial has the great finishing, cool, calm under pressure. Jesus got the movement, but ultimately both of them have to play wide because you need your number 9 to be clinical. So it'd be interesting to see where he gets used and whether he's going to come to a point in his career and he says, you know what? I know I wanted to be a striker all my life, but it's just not going to be. Maybe in the youth level it was good enough, but when we come to big man football, they need more. Maybe football's gone and they need more, and I can't provide that. So I'm going to make do on the left. Theo Walcott was begging to play through the middle for Arsenal and wouldn't sign a contract until he got promised it. They played him through the middle, scored a few goals, he signed a contract, and they moved back out to the wing. He's played the wing for his whole career, other than for maybe a year or so in total for his whole career. Some people at the youth level, you may be this, but in the senior team, you're not. Agin CHS or Agin, I'm not sure. Says I think Martial and Lingard should leave for their own career. Any rumor about Kamara? Is he any good? I have seen clips on YouTube. I may be wrong, but players like Fred. Well, I'll speak about that in a second. Shane says, Neeks, will you miss the Martial song? I will actually. I actually love that song. Tony Martial, he came from France. The English press said he had no chance. 50 million down the drain. Tony Martial scores again. The problem now, if he leaves Man United without, if he comes back as, leads us to a couple trophies or whatever, cool. But if he leaves now, 50 million down the drain, the English media were right. The English media were right. Beanie Man says, I used to be deep Martial FC until the middle of last season. Him bottling the job due to pressure from Grandpa Cavani showed me the light. Sammy says, we better not lose the title to Martial. Imagine. Yeah, and maybe they were right. Shane, I do think the Spanish league will suit him. I think it definitely will. So I think he will do well over there. I hope he does. I hope he does well over there. And then I hope he comes back to Man United and gives us the same performances over there that he's going to give us over here consistently. So that's Martial. That deal should be completed anytime this evening, to be honest. I can't see it taking much longer. Just reading some news from Fabrizio says Sevilla board have decided to keep Diego Carlos after long negotiations with Newcastle and 2 bids turned down. They've got no intention to sell. I don't see any more news at the moment about Martial. So yeah, that should happen very soon, very very soon. No qualms about that. Jesse Lingard. Jesse Lingard reportedly is on. Well, he's on. We know he's on the radar of Newcastle, and reportedly he's been subject to an offer of £10 million. So Newcastle offered Man United £10 million to loan him for the rest of the season and cover his wages. Now, financially, that is, I mean, on the surface, it's a terrible deal. Not for us, for Newcastle. And I say that in the sense of who pays 10 million for half a season loan? You don't do that. And for Jesse Lingard as well. However, Newcastle are fighting relegation. So if that 10 million, which is pennies to this ownership, if 10 million saved them from relegation, then that's money well spent. Because staying in the Premier League is definitely worth more than 10 million. Going to the Championship is the worst thing that can happen to Newcastle right now. So I say it's a bad deal, but if it stays up, it's a great deal. And it's a great deal for us. 10 million for a 6-month loan for a player who we don't even want. Like, Lingard's another one he doesn't want to move permanently because he wants to see what happens with Manchester United in terms of new ownership, new management, and whether they want to keep him or not. I think he has to accept his Man United career is over. But I get it, on top of that, you don't want to sign your way away to a club that you might join and they still go down. And now you're playing the Championship. You've got 6 months left of your deal. Barring injury, you've got no rush to go and make to sign for a club. You can exploit and get as much wages as possible, being a free transfer in the summer. You might as well wait till then. So hopefully we can get that deal done. For Lingard, it'll be perfect. For Newcastle, it'll be great. And for Manchester United, it'll be absolutely brilliant. And we're basically getting 10 million for a player with 6 months left in the contract. We wanted, I think, nearer to 30 million in the summer. And I was thinking, for me, 25 would have been enough. 25, even 20 would have been enough, to be honest. But we wanted 30, we didn't. If we get 10 with 6 months left, great deal. Great deal. I got no qualms with that. And I hope Lingard's not playing. Lingard is not playing for Man United between now and the end of the season, give or take. He'll probably play against Middlesbrough in the Cup, for example. So he needs to force that move. He needs to say, all right, me gone. I need to go. I need to play. Gareth Southgate loves Jesse Lingard. If he can play a full year of football, so the back end of this season, and whatever his new club is in the summer, if he plays a full year of football, he will be in that World Cup squad. I am, without a shadow of a doubt, he will be in that World Cup squad. Gareth Southgate does not need, he doesn't even think twice about getting Lingard back in once he's played some games. It took him so long to get him out. The moment he started playing for West Ham, he's back in the forts. So get himself a full year of football and play what would be your last World Cup. Get your last big contract in the summer and let Man United get a good fee for you. We'll talk about Arsenal in a second, Shane. We'll definitely talk about that on the podcast anyway with Ramsey when we do Thursday. So I'm not even going to go into it properly, but I agree. I've enjoyed watching Arsenal suffer with the Vlahovic saga. I've said it already. I'll say it again. I ain't said it on here, so if you ain't heard it, I was on the terrace and I was talking to Igal and Jess. I was like, he's not joining. Like, I don't know much about it. I only found out about him. I don't watch Italian football like that. I don't really follow Fiorentina. I only really follow the clubs who are in the Champions League and AC Milan. So we're talking Juve, Atalanta, Inter. Actually, that's it. That's the only three clubs that I follow, and AC Milan. Yeah, I don't really follow that. When I play in the Champions League this year, I don't really follow them. So I don't follow Vlahovic. I heard a lot about him, and then I thought, okay, I'll just watch a little not Google, a YouTube compilation. I was like, damn, this guy's good. And it's a huge compilation. So I'm not, I wouldn't do my scouting and buy a player based on YouTube, but you hear what you hear and you watch it, you're like, yeah, this guy looks good. Just based on that YouTube compilation and what everyone's saying about him, I'm like, this guy's too good for Arsenal. Why would he join Arsenal? People talking about him, he's a, if it's not Haaland, it's Vlahovic. Haaland's going to a top tier team challenging for Premier League and Champions League. If the striker just below him becomes available, why would he go to Arsenal? On top of that, somebody else must be in for him because only one club can get Haaland. And as it is, Juve is in for him. He was never going to Arsenal. But I'm so glad they got themselves hyped up for him. So glad they did. Nothing, other than Man United winning, nothing sweeps me more than Arsenal tears, I tell you. Nothing. Triple O says Lingard could do bits for them and then not even stay. Listen, as long as he stays, keeps them up, then it's job done for everyone. Beanie Man said Newcastle got the cash. And I love them to sign Lingard on a loan for 10 million for him to walk to West Ham for free. Well, listen, if they want to keep him and they don't, fair enough, all right, you missed out on it. But if they stay in the Premier League, they got enough money to get someone else. I'll tell you that. They're not short cash. Shane says, I would like to know why West Ham aren't going for Jesse, considering, in my opinion, they need players. They do, actually. They do need players. I don't know. I don't know why they didn't go hard for him in the summer. I don't know. I couldn't answer that. I have to ask David Moyes. I'll call him later. Lingard stayed so he could play 2 minutes. Man wanted to do selfies and dancing with Cristiano Ronaldo. Come on, man. Roma. What are you saying about Roma? No, I mean, no. I don't follow Roma. Every so often I check a result to see how Jose's doing and how Tammy's doing, but no, I don't follow Roma like that. Not at all. Vlahovic never wanted Arsenal. He's been stalling for that. And didn't that happen with Locatelli? They thought they're going to get Locatelli as well. Abraham says, hey, Nate, big up to your show and watch it. Big up yourself. Make sure you smash the like button. Donny van der Beek. Donny van der Beek. The conundrum that is. What can you say about Donny van der Beek that hasn't been said already? And on top of that, what can you say about Donny van der Beek that's actually true other than the fact that he's barely played for Man United? Everything else is speculation. Why is he not playing? Does he want to leave? Who does he want to go to? Does he only want a loan? Does he want a permanent? Has he fallen out with the man? Like, nobody knows really what's going on. It's just a sad situation. That's what it is. That's what I think we can all agree. It's a sad situation. So Fabrizio Romano came out earlier saying, actually, let me I'll bring up the tweet itself. Let's see, there we go. Yeah, he says Crystal Palace and Valencia both asked for Van der Beek. I think there's a few other clubs actually where Dean Jones on the Football Terrace talking about Borussia Dortmund. There was an Everton. I think Everton has spoke early in the window. But Crystal Palace and Valencia both asked for Van der Beek on loan. Donny wants to play. Again, it's a World Cup year. He's barely played for 18 months. So, of course, he wants to play. Rania reluctant to let him go. And I understand why. Look at our midfield. We've got Fred, McTominay. We've got Fred, McTominay, Pogba, Bruno, Matic. That's our midfield. Pogba's injured still. Matic is old. Fred and McTominay ain't that great. Now, he doesn't play Donny van de Beek, so you have to take those words as a pinch of salt that he wants him. However, we are currently still playing in 3 competitions. We're in the Champions League, we're in the FA Cup, and we're in the Premier League. Fighting for top 4. Fighting for title. Fighting for top 4. So we need players. I'm not a fan of just loaning out players because they want. sorry. I'm not a fan of just loaning out players because they want games. Does it suit Manchester United? What's best for Manchester United? I want Donny to play games, but not at the expense of Man United. But if he's really pushing to go, then I don't think we should stand in his way, because all you're going to end up with is an unhappy player. It says Man United are not accepting any loans with buy options. They want Van de Beek to be in the team for next season. And it's exactly, as I say, it's exactly the same as Anthony Martial. And Donny van de Beek himself doesn't want to leave Manchester United permanently right now. He wants to see how the land lies in the summer. Who's the manager going to be? If it's Ten Hag, for example, he might walk straight into the team, first name on the team sheet. Pogba might be gone. There could be some other outgoings. I have no idea. If Ten Hag comes in and he doesn't play, then you got to say your time's up. But I think for him, he wants his first port of call is to play games, but secondly, to see how the land lies at Manchester United in the summer. So he doesn't want to go permanently. As long as the club who wants to loan him are paying the full wages, let him go. That's the way I see it. There's no cut price deals going on. There's no mates rates, none of that. I don't care if we've overpaid players in wages. That's our problem. We cool. But I'd rather have I'd rather have an unhappy Donny van de Beek sitting on 100 grand a week on our bench in case we need him for one game, one moment, 1 minute in the season, then loan him out and have to pay half his wages, because you're just paying for someone else's benefit. What are we gaining from that? Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. So for me, if someone's willing to pay either a loan fee or 100% of his wages, let him go. If not, then he's going to have to stay. He's going to have to stay and try and get into the team, and or wait till the summer to see what comes of the new manager. So that's Manchester United. Ralph Rangnick's. He's getting busy. I'm not going to say it's revolution. I'm not going to say that. But he gets busy. He's looking to get players out. And he's also looking to get players in. Now, there was talk about Boubacar Kamara. I don't know much about him. He's a midfielder. We need a midfielder. If Van de Beek goes, Lingard goes, get him in. It's not a high price. If it turns out he's a flop, so be it. It's £10 million. Get him in. How bad can a £10 million deal really go? It can't. It's not. It's risk free as far as I'm concerned. So that's someone I would like to see, and of course, there's lots of Hadara, Chouameni, Declan Rice. Those are all summer deals. We're not getting that in now. In the past says, do you think we sign a midfielder before the end of January? If Van de Beek and Lingard go, I think we might get one. If at least one of them stay, I don't think we get any. I think we need 2 of them to go and 1 comes in. Martial going on loan doesn't mean we're going to sign anyone in the attacking positions. Diallo going we're not going to sign anyone. We have Rashford, Sancho, Elanga, Ronaldo, and Cavani. That's 5 forwards for 3 starting positions with Bruno behind. So yeah, Pogba to come back. Yeah, we're not going to sign anyone in the forward positions. There's talk about Eric Bailly possibly leaving on loan. For me, it's the same thing. I don't want him to go. We're still in 3 competitions. We've had injury issues. Varane was out for a good while this season. Maguire picked up an injury recently. Lindelof hasn't been completely fit. He's out now, some personal issues. And Bailly has his own injury issues as well. So does Phil Jones. So it's like, I don't think we can just get rid of players because they want to play. We need to protect ourselves. And if that means Bailly only plays 2 games for the rest of the season because we only need him for 2, then so be it. But those 2 games can be very important. It could be a cup semi-final. It could be a 6-pointer in the top 4 race. Like we can't be like, oh yeah, we loaned him out and then we're playing Axel Tuanzebe against Arsenal or Spurs. Like we can't do that. So Man United needs to come before the player needs. Hopefully they can align and we can sort out deals that benefit everyone. Let me see some of your comments before I head out. Says Adama to Spurs is the only January transfer that matters. You're not taking long with that, innit? Why is that not done yet? 20 million. I'm just going through some more tweets to see if there's any breaking news. I'm here and I ain't seen nothing yet. 20 million for Adama. I think that's a good deal. Again, it's not extortionate amount. Premier League, I say Premier League proven. I mean, Premier League experience. He ain't really proven anything. Conte wants him. Paratici wants him. He will suit the system. We'll have to go and see what he actually does, but he will suit the system. If he can create a link up like he did with Jimenez, that he does that with Kane, that could be deadly. That could be deadly as a wing back or whatever on the right hand side. That could be a good, very good side. Let's talk about speaking of Spurs, about, let me find the tweet from Fabrizio Romano. Says Tottenham has submitted an official bid for Luis Diaz today. Porto have not yet accepted. Tottenham presented the official bid during a direct meeting in Portugal. Player dreams of Premier League, but not an easy deal between the clubs. I believe they submitted a €55 million bid, but the release clause or his value, whatever, I believe it's more about 70 million. So if that's the case, you're about 20 million short with about less than a week to go in the transfer window. But I think Porto need money to pay for FFP, some FFP fine they have as well. And 55 million is still a decent amount of money. If you can get him and Adama, whew. But I'm interested. What do you think about Undembele? Does he need to leave in this January? Shane says, I hope we sign a midfielder, but I don't think we will. I thought Tottenham would have backed Conte more than this. Yes and no. It's Spurs. It's Spurs after all of that. When all is said and done, it's still Daniel Levy. It's still Spurs. Conte can attract the players because he's Conte, but Daniel Levy's still going to try and eke every penny out of that deal to make sure they don't spend more than a penny more than they have to. So everything's going to take a bit longer. Anyway, so Liverpool are very keen on Luis Diaz. Can't see why he would choose us over a Champions League club. True. Maybe in the summer. If you get Champions League football, you're in a good position to do it. You got like 3 games in hand. Beanie Man says Son on one wing and Adama on the other. Yeah, you got raw pace and power down one and a bit of trickery on the left. Says Ndembele needs to go. He hasn't got the desire to compete for a spot. Still more technically. Oh, shut up. You can read it. I'm not reading the rest of that. Finally, yeah. Sammy says, Neeks, I've been messaging you on Instagram. West Indies are useless. I mean, yes, we are. Lost to Ireland. Absolutely useless over here. West Indies. But we had a decent 2 games against England in the T20. Battered them in the first one. Came very close in the second one. We'll see how the rest of the series goes with that. But guys, listen, that's it for Manchester United. News Thursday. We'll be doing the podcast Thursday evening. I'll Well, just check the channel for the time. When's the I think what's today? It's Tuesday. Is it Tuesday today? So yeah, Thursday morning I will put the video on the channel so you see what time. It'll be about 7 or so in the afternoon, in the evening, sorry, on Thursday podcast. We're going to be looking at all our predictions from the start of the season, seeing where we are now. We're not re-predicting, just seeing where we are now. Kyle has come up with a points tally. Because obviously, you know, if I predict someone's going to finish first, but they finish second. And someone else said first, but someone said certain team's going to finish first, but they finished fourth. How do you determine? Obviously, I was closer, but you're both wrong. So Kyle's come up with some points tally that we're gonna to kind of determine overall when we look at all the predictions, top goal scorer, etc., who was the most accurate in their predictions, or who got the most points or whatever. So Thursday we'll be doing that, and talking about all the other January transfer news we got around Arsenal, Liverpool, Barcelona, as Kyle's a fan, and any more Man United development, hopefully in the next 2 days, which I can't really see happening. But I'm sure them are going to have their own views on Anthony Martial and the likes. Make sure you smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you lots soon.